So, though it is rare at this point for us to do back-to-back days with the news, there are reasons why, and the reason why we will get to in a second, or one of the reasons why we will get to in a little bit. But I wanted to start with the fact that Rhea Ripley appeared on NXT last night to provide a warning to the NXT champion Carmelo Hayes to stay away from Judgment Day. In my opinion, that may point to things being far from over between the Judgment Day and Carmelo Hayes. But as I mentioned in yesterday's news video, Charlotte Flair had a trip up to the main roster. Charlotte Flair did something on the main roster before making her way up to the had a mini debut before making her way up to the main roster permanently. And to be fair, I think there's a lot of people that probably don't remember Charlotte Flair coming up a few months before, maybe like 6 or 8 months before her, Sasha, and Becky actually did, to fight Natalya on an episode of Raw. I think it was either, again, I don't remember if they came up in the summer of 2015 or the summer of 2014, but I know her mini debut was the fall of 2013 or 2014, depending on when she made her actual main roster debut. But a lot of people didn't remember that and probably don't remember that, and I think a lot of people are going to feel the same about Carmelo Hayes versus Finn Balor. But I think that the reality of the situation is, the reason why they did it is also because Carmelo Hayes is the one who came out to the ring to help Finn Balor help Seth Rollins ward off Finn Balor. I do think they could have accomplished the same thing by having Nathan Frazier come out, because Nathan Frazier is the protege of Seth Rollins, or one of the trainees of Seth Rollins. But I think they accomplished the same thing with Carmelo as they would have with Nathan Frazier. But it does seem like, with the warning from Rhea Ripley, that it is possible that things are not over between Carmelo Hayes and the Judgment Day. Speaking of the Judgment Day, WWE executives are said to be very happy, almost ecstatic, with the work of the Judgment Day over the last couple of months. And even Edge is said to be very ecstatic as far as where the faction is compared to where they were when he led the faction. You know, Edge apparently thinks that the faction is in a lot better place under Finn Balor's leadership than they were under his. Not to say that he wasn't a capable leader, it's just more to say that the faction fits better with Finn than it did with Edge. And WWE executives are said to be very happy with both Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, who are looked at as company people for being very easy to work with and very willing to do what the company wants. Rhea Ripley is even given more to her opponents in matches that she was supposed to dominate. Dominic Mysterio, people have been impressed with his work ethic since turning heel at Clash at the Castle last year. And, of course, Damian Priest, people have been impressed with his effort, with the effort and the work ethic he's put in over the last couple of months as well. So, altogether, WWE is said to be very impressed and very happy with the Judgment Day. But that's just it. And that's just it. Now we shift over to NXT, as next week on NXT, it is the return of Raw Underground, and Eddie Thorpe will collide with Damon Kemp in the finale of what has been, I don't want to say a random feud, but a feud nonetheless, between two up-and-comers in NXT. But Gable Steveson has been the man behind the mask as far as trading Eddie Thorpe for his match with for his match with Damon Kemp next week. This is perfect for Gable Steveson, because I think that the one problem that has plagued Gable Steveson since his debut, as far as getting momentum, is that WWE has not given him consistent television time to be able to be somebody that people recognize. And that's something that he needs if he's going to be a WWE superstar. That is consistent television time to be able to be somebody that people recognize, as opposed to somebody that people are like, who is that again? So the fact that we see him again in such short order is a positive step in the right direction for Gable Steveson. Whether or not he's going to be at ringside with Eddie Thorpe next week, we'll have to wait and find out. But also next week on NXT, it is a loser leaves NXT match. Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed against the Creed brothers. Loser leaves NXT. I think it could go either way, as there has been conversations that the Dyad have wanted to leave NXT, but it seems like after last week that the schism may be on its last legs, or after last night, the schism may be on its last legs and fracturing beyond repair, so it is possible that Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed either way could leave NXT, and maybe the Grizzled Young Veterans return. But also, the Creed brothers have been one of the top flight members of NXT, potentially called up to the main roster. So I'd say either way, it could go either way with either team winning. But also, I just wanted to update you on Kenny Omega's status after the Tiger Driver 91 from Forbidden Door. And it seems like Kenny, he's saying he's okay after what looked like a scary fall at Forbidden Door from the most dangerous move in wrestling, the Tiger Driver 91. But with that being said, that is it for me. We got another news video to come, so I will see you in that video.